Hello, everybody. Welcome to Critical Mass. I am your host, Rob, and today we have something special. There is a mini little civil war in the studio going on right now, and I want to tell you guys about it. And we're going to have two different perspectives from two different hosts. Well, actually, there's going to be two people that had pretty much the same perspective and one person that don't, and is going to try to convince us otherwise. So you guys, anybody who's followed me, you've always given me credit for being a real one, and I appreciate that because I try to live by the things that I espouse, and I have a set of set in stone morals, and I have a code, and I have a very small window of what I believe conservatism is. And to me, first and foremost, conservatism is smaller government, maximum freedom. That is the number one tenet. It's not written down anywhere, but I think most conservatives will agree with that. We want maximum freedom. If we consider ourselves to be constitutionalists, we want maximum freedom. We want no involvement from the government in our daily lives, in the things that we do, our guns, our speech, our rights, our liberties, all of that, we want the government out of. We're capable of taking care of ourselves. We don't need you. We need the government to function as a business. That's what we need, to work out all the financial issues in this country so that we as American citizens, from the lower class to the middle class to the upper class, all of us prosper. That is number one. Number two is not being degenerate fucking whores, as far as I'm concerned. And this is not even a Christian perspective, I am the furthest thing from a prude. Furthest thing. On the opposite side of the fucking world. There isn't anything other than messing with my asshole that I won't do in bed to please a woman. Yeah, look, I made Kim blush. Oh, my God, I made her fucking blush. I made Kim Coulter blush. But seriously, jokes aside, but that's what happens in my bedroom. I think the sexual degeneracy in this country has led to the problems that we see now. We are somehow okay with gay guys gyrating in front of little children. Now, it is the gay guy's fault for, looking at a 2 or 3 year old and going, oh, I'm going to go over there and flash my ball bag in this little girl's fucking face, right? But at the same time, it's also the parents who brought these kids to the fucking gay pride parade. We got tranny fucking story hour. No, Rob, it's not they're not trannies. They're different. No, I don't give a shit. They're all the same as far as I'm concerned. If you're a dude and you dress like a chick, you're fucking degenerate, period. But he's just living his best life. Yeah, you know what? Live your best life in your fucking house. Go to your gay fucking pride events. Go to your fucking, but leave the kids out of it. That's fucking degeneracy. And the same thing with fucking music. If your music is all about getting laid, doing drugs, drinking, and partying, and this is what you're promoting to children, because the vast quantities of consumers of this music are children. They hear your songs on the radio, they watch YouTube, they hear it on TikTok, and if you are a degenerate fucking whore and all you talk about is sex and partying in your music, to me, and to most real conservatives, real constitutional conservatives, that does not espouse conservative values. Now, maybe I could get rid of that because you know what? In my teens, I laughed at 2 Live Crew, but I was a vastly different person in my teens. I fought for 2 Live Crew to have their right of free speech. Same thing I would with any artist. But when you take somebody like that, like an artist, that all they do is talk about this stuff, and then you decide to platform them. I'm not even talking about using them as the face of conservatism, but you platform somebody like that, I have a problem with that. Those people should never be platformed by conservatives. And on top of that, and I'm only coming from the conservative point of view because Christianity and conservatism are not mutually exclusive. Okay, first of all, I'm a conservative and maybe I'm a lax Christian because I don't take the high road and I don't turn my cheek when it comes to fighting. And I will go after you, and I don't care. And if that makes me ungodly, that makes me ungodly. But you know what? I believe that Christ is the Son of God. I tried to live by the way he was on this planet. You know, I try to help people as much as humanly possible. I thank him for my kids. I thank God for my kids. I try to do the things. I am not a scholar of the Bible because it enrages me to read it. I try, and I did. I went to Catholic school. But I'm not like the most pious Christian on the planet either. So when I talk about conservatism, it's not from a point of like a puritanical fucking Christian point of view. That's not how I view conservatism. So, but here's the next thing. If somebody, I don't care how much and pushback I get on this. If somebody donated to Democrat policies, if somebody donated towards a GoFundMe or tried to raise money for a GoFundMe for George Floyd, because fuck George Floyd, the world is a better place without that junky piece of shit who beat a pregnant woman up and pointed a gun at her belly. The second you do that, your life is forfeit. I don't care. See, that's what makes me a bad Christian, because I wish death on those people. That would also make me a bad pagan, too, just to let you guys know, because they don't. They think that's bad juju, bad karma. So, and then you fundraise for BLM, you don't ever get a pass from me. And all this is to talk about the fact that Nicki Minaj was brought up on stage by Erica Kirk. Her husband would have never brought Nicki Minaj on that stage. Never. Nicki Minaj stands for everything that Charlie Kirk was opposed to. Everything. You read her lyrics, you just pick any one of her songs and you listen to her lyrics and you tell me that those are conservative values. Now, what I want to do, honestly and truly, we're gonna get into this. I want to take her music out of it for a minute. Just forget about the music. Forget about the degenerate bullshit that she talks about, that she fills our kids' heads with. Forget about that shit. She has a right to do it. I am an artist. I would never want anybody to censor me in my music for the things that I say in my music. So I'm not saying that we should censor her in her music. What I'm saying is the lyrics that I write for my songs are conservative lyrics. People who write things that are conservative based should be the ones that are platformed. Now, I know that Reno does, but I don't think that her coming up on the stage is making her the new face of conservatism. But the capitulation part of it is this. We have people that are saying, well, it's just bringing in the black female vote, which conservatives don't have. It's bringing in a younger generation of kids. It's this, it's that. I don't care about that. There's plenty of other people. Look at what Charlie was capable of doing without pandering to musicians. Charlie would never have brought people up like Nicki Minaj on that stage. And then to go a step further, Ben Shapiro is diametrically opposed to everything that Charlie Kirk spoke about. Now, I'm not saying any of this to shit on Amfest. I'm not. That's not why I'm doing this. Because I heard it was a great time. I heard there was some really killer speakers there. I heard, other than, Myron Gaines getting kicked out. Well, Fresh from Fresh and Fit getting kicked out. I didn't really hear any drama. Maybe it's just because I'm not on X and looking for it, because I don't really care. But the fact that these people were platformed, Ben Shapiro literally said that Jesus is burning in hell. Okay. Isn't TPUSA an ultra-Christian movement? Ultra-Christian conservative movement? It is. He would have never platformed people like that. He can't. Charlie would never go out there and talk about God the way he talks about, to bring a heathen up on stage who denies the fact that Christ exists as the Son of God. Tell me I'm wrong. I dare you. You can't tell me I'm wrong. Judaism is the polar opposite of Christianity. We should not be, as Christians should not be platforming people who don't even recognize that Christ was the Son of God. That I find hypocritical. That is not conservatism to me. I believe in what I believe in. Nothing is ever going to make me change. I will fight tooth and nail because I know what it is to be a conservative. I know what true conservative values are. And what I'm doing is giving you the information from somebody who's been a conservative his entire life. At 18 years old, I voted for Ross Perot. Like, I wasn't fooled by Clinton and his I didn't inhale and him being cool, thinking he was being cool by playing a saxophone on Arsenio Hall. I was like, this dude's a fucking tool. So no, I have voted conservative my entire fucking life. I have voted for conservative values since I was 18 years old. So I'm giving you guys my perspective on that because I believe that that's what conservative values are. Now, I'm going to bring in Mike Mack. What's up, man? Listen, bro, if you're not busy, homie, that link is the same link. You're more than welcome to join in on this conversation. I would be glad to have you, homie. And everybody, it's Reno. And everybody, it's Kim Coulter. Kim, what's going on? We already heard from Reno.
Every day's Christmas and every paycheck is a fortune.
Yeah, bullshit. None of us approve.
I can always complain, but who will listen?
Yeah, nobody.
Exactly.
So let's get into this, Kim.
Yeah,
I want to hear your perspective on this.
Okay, two things first and foremost. First of all, I'm going to read you a quote, and you're going to tell me who this quote's from. Democrats' treatment of Nicki Minaj should be all the proof you need that they don't care about black people, especially those they can't control. They just use them every 4 years for their votes, but people are waking up. Who said that?
Some prominent, was it Lil Wayne?
Charlie fucking Kirk.
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Charlie
I didn't mute.
fucking Kirk.
Okay.
That's number one. So the idea that
he wouldn't platform her, though.
Who's Rob Smith?
Okay, it has nothing to do with Rob
Who's
Smith.
Rob Smith?
I'm not talking about the fact that he's black, Kim. I'm talking about
the fact that he's black either. What did Rob Smith initially do?
Did Rob Smith fucking fund or fundraise for BLM? No, he did not.
What are you talking about? Rob Smith was made his money as like the model poster child for the faggot texting thing. Like, he was doing gay sex texting for a fucking living. That's who Rob Smith was. So the idea that like he would
I don't travel in those fucking circles, so I wouldn't know about fucking faggotry like that.
Okay, but like
it would not compute in my head. But you know what? Maybe Charlie
Kirk
Charlie wants to save him.
Fucking true.
But Charlie wanted to fucking
Charlie
save him.
Kirk would never. What are you talking about? He's been defending Nicki Minaj since 2021. Yes, he fucking would.
He also said that Minaj was not a role model for 18-year-old girls.
I never said she was. The point of her being on there is not that she was supposed to be a role model. The point is saying, even if you have largely identified with left-wing policies. If you are a person in entertainment, if you are a person in Hollywood, you no longer have to be in the closet anymore. If you want to espouse Christian ideology, you can do that without getting blacklisted.
So
That
do you think
message,
that Nicki Minaj
Yeah, but
espouses Christianity?
she went on the stage to talk about Christians getting persecuted in Nigeria. Did you even fucking watch the interview?
Yeah, oh, I absolutely did. And
So
I don't
what are you
Congratulations.
talking about? Her whole thing is nothing to do with her suddenly being a big. No one introduced her saying, "Look at Nicki Minaj, the new face of the right wing for women." Nobody
You
fucking
haven't been
said
on
that.
X lately, apparently.
What?
I said you haven't been on X apparently lately.
This has been all day in our texting, by the way, just to let you know. Go ahead, you two.
That okay? So a small niche group of people are morons.
It's not a
But like
small niche
I
group
don't
of people.
I haven't seen a single person seriously say this is the new face of conservatism. Only people I see saying that are people sarcastically like you fucking like knuckleheads. Oh, is this really the new face of the right wing? No, and nobody's trying to claim that she is.
I never
No,
said
Nobody is.
that.
I would
said,
say very large. I would say very large influencers of people
I
and
would love
accounts.
if you showed me one. Who are like
Absolutely,
Nicki Minaj is the face of the right wing and is the face
oh,
Absolutely.
of
wait, I never said that because it's impossible for her to be the face of the right wing. I would never believe that in a million years.
Okay,
So,
well this guy believes it.
well, I just said that she shouldn't be platformed.
Okay, the purpose is, and these two things can't exist at the same time. The right wing has been publicly ridiculing people in entertainment and people in Hollywood because they have to stay quiet and they won't say anything, even if they're a Democrat who happens to align with Republicans on certain issues. Republicans will often say, "Well, like I'll admit what my most liberal." Talking point is I think if the government is allowing people to poison us, they should be taking care of our health care. That's my most liberal point. That a liberal will not say that about being a Republican. They will not share that, and that has bled into entertainment. That's bled into education. That's bled into Hollywood en masse. So the idea is Nicki Minaj being a prominent person in Hollywood, being a prominent person in entertainment, even being willing to step on a TPUSA stage, which does her nothing. The majority of her audience fucking hates that. They hate her for it. It doesn't make her money. It doesn't make her more popular. She's saying, she's making the stand that people are allowed to have disagreements with the left, even if you're in mainstream entertainment. And it
So
has
she
nothing
talked
to do
about
with her being like the new face of the right. It has nothing to do with endorsing her music. It is everything to do with one, how she feels about Christian persecution around the world. Two, the other big point she was talking about was
she said
transgenderism.
Nigeria. Did she
I'm
talk
sorry?
about the white Christians that are being killed en masse in South Africa?
I
No.
I criticized her for that literally last night on Simcast, so we're on the same page there. She only started speaking up when it was Nigerians, and now she's saying she would stand up
Because
for
she's
them around the
Nigerian.
world. We'll
Yeah.
see if she holds up to that. I don't
Mhm.
know. She only cared when it was She only initially cared when it was Nigeria. Again, I'm
Again,
perfectly
not
fine to
conservative
criticize
values.
that, but the idea is not. This is a person who is a right wing idol. This is not a person who you should look up to. This is an example of someone breaking out of the fucking mind control little bubble that they have in Hollywood that says, I don't care if you are Republican, you keep that shit fucking quiet. I don't care if you have Christian ideology, you're not allowed to espouse it. We're allowed to talk shit about Christians.
But
No
she's
one
not a
else.
Republican.
I didn't say she was a Republican.
Right.
Oh
And
my God,
my
you
point
guys are
is that
infuriating. I'm saying
Republicans and
you're allowed
conservatives
to
and
be
Christian
on the
conservatives should
same.
be the only
You're allowed
ones that
to
should be
have
platformed
alignment
on
with
that
people on
stage.
the right. If you're allowed to have alignments with people on the right, that's what the whole point of this
So
was.
then you think Ben
It's her
Shapiro should
trying
have
to
been allowed on that
establish for
stage, Kim?
mainstream entertainers that they don't have to live in silence and in fear anymore. They can speak up. It's
So
the
do you
whole
think
point.
that Ben Shapiro should have been allowed to speak his bullshit on that
No, I
stage?
think he's a fucking asshole. You guys know how I feel about Ben Shapiro, but this has nothing to do with it.
It
We're
does.
talking
It's
about, if we
making
want
a
to talk
point
about
that
Ben Shapiro,
people who shouldn't.
we can talk about Ben Shapiro all you want. I think Ben Shapiro is a swarmy little fuck, and I don't think he deserves nearly the attention that he gets. And
No,
I'm
I agree
glad
with
that
you
his
on that.
attention is
But
dwindling.
it,
But
it
we're talking about Nicki Minaj, and we're talking about
right,
the purpose
and
of
it's
Nicki
this,
Minaj being on the stage. And
Kim.
you guys think
It's the
that it's like
same.
some
It's
kind
the
of
same
endorsement
thing.
of her degeneracy, but it's
It
not.
it is an endorsement.
No,
Just
it's
bringing
not.
her on that stage is making it what she's done in her life. Oh, this is acceptable.
No,
It's
it's
not
not.
acceptable, and she should
No, it's
never be
not.
platformed by a conservative
That's an old
Just like
boomer take.
no, it's
That's
not a
not
boomer take.
reality.
That's not a fucking boomer. Yeah,
Being on
you
the
know what?
same stage with
Then you
someone
know what?
doesn't
You
mean
know
that
what,
you
Kim?
endorse
You know what, Kim?
everything
Then
they've
it
ever
is. Then
done.
it is a fucking. You know what? It is a boomer fucking take. It is absolutely a fucking boomer take, and I'll fucking own it. I don't give a shit. But the
Okay,
point
but
is
like,
that
what
you
an
you
endorsement of her
you
is
weren't
not
even
just simply
sperm in
putting on
your
a
dad's nuts when I first voted. Okay,
Who
you.
cares? What does that have to do
The
with this
point
right now?
is, no, Kim. The point is this: conservative values go back a very long time, long before you. And I am bringing that kind of conservatism into this fucking era and this generation because you know what? We've lost it along the fucking way, and
I
I'm
agree,
never going to give
conservatism is
up
dead.
on my boomer conservative morality. That's
I'm
what
not
it is.
asking you to give up on your morality. I'm telling
Well,
you
I
that no
mean,
one is trying to say she's conservative. No one's trying to say she's
when you take,
Republican.
all
And
right,
the people
Kim, hold on. Let me speak for a second. When you take somebody like that and you platform them on a stage in front of 30,000 people, broadcast to hundreds of millions of people around the world, maybe you and I and Reno are smart enough to be like, all right, well, they're not really fucking, making it acceptable for her being what she is, right? But to the hundreds of millions of people that watch this, they go, oh, Nicki Minaj is obviously TPUSA is cool with Nicki Minaj, so we should be cool.
No.
You lost your audio.
I lost my. How did I fucking lose my audio?
You turned it up and it went back down.
I still hear him.
Okay, well,
hear
you know
you.
what? That's what it is then. That's what it is. I think Amfest, for the most part, from everything that I saw, was fucking great. It was celebrating Charlie's life. It was celebrating Christianity. It was celebrating conservatism. There was two dark parts of that I saw: Ben Shapiro and Nicki Minaj. Those people should never be platformed on a Christian conservative stage ever. Because you and I, like I said, you and I can say, all right, you know what? We're not going to fall for this. I don't look at that stupid fucking cunt as the new face of fucking conservatism. I don't. Reno doesn't. You don't.
I think you're overestimating how many people are suddenly like, oh, Nicki Minaj is great.
What?
I really think you are. I think the idea that like it's like, oh, it's okay to like Nicki Minaj's music now. I think that that's hyperinflated. I think that that's like mostly just.
I would love to see like the stream like numbers from before the TPUSA event to now, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in this world that don't know, on this, especially on the conservative side, who don't know who Nicki Minaj is. Now they're looking it up. This is all fucking performative. She doesn't really believe what she's talking about. She's going to get a boost in her numbers. And if she really cared about Christians, she wouldn't just talk about Nigerian Christians.
I mean, I think it's weird for you to expect an entertainer to like know how to play the game when it comes to any of this stuff. I do think that,
There's no playing
like
games.
I said, there's nothing about being on a stage with someone that says that you endorse everything they say and do. I think that that's the most ridiculous cop out ever. And I don't think that people.
You're missing the point, and I've said it multiple times, and maybe I'm saying it for the 10th time. We'll get it in your head. There are people who are smart enough to see through that shit. 3 of us are here, okay? 3 of us. And there's plenty in the space that are listening right now and a part of the show that didn't fall for it. But that doesn't stop it from convincing or making it so that other people go, oh, well, if Erica Kirk thinks it's cool to hang out with Nicki Minaj, let's go listen to her music.
I don't think so. I really don't.
You don't think so?
I think you're overestimating that to a degree, to a severe degree. And I also think that because of the fact that I think you're also misrepresenting how much of her base have actually just fully turned on her because of this and have just decided, oh, well, she's transphobic and she likes a pedophile in the White House, so fuck Nicki Minaj.
She can't like a pedophile in the White House because she's fucking married to one. One that was convicted.
Charge does he have?
Listen. Now you talked and now let me talk. I sat here and listened to this.
Asked you a question.
I sat here and listened to you spew this fucking bullshit very fucking patiently.
Oh my god. Okay.
Nicki
We're waiting.
Minaj
Go
in
ahead.
2020 gave money to bail George Floyd rioters, Black Lives Matter rioters out of prison, the ones that burnt down our cities and turned terrorism normal in our cities. She's married to a man who in 1995 was convicted of attempted rape of a 16-year-old child.
When he was 16.
Her brother is also
That doesn't
in
make it any better.
jail
Yeah,
for
but
the
it's
same
also
thing.
the charges are
I said let me fucking talk because I sat here and fucking listened to you spew this bullshit. Now I'm gonna get my shit off, or we're not gonna have the debate.
okay.
The man was convicted of fucking attempted rape of a 16-year-old girl. I don't give a fuck what his age was. Her brother is sitting in prison, 25 to life. What she has to gain is a presidential pardon for both of them. She is going to pander to the right to get those. And the fucking right is going to fucking get rid of their morals and post her up as some kind of fucking hero because she talks about Christians in another country. I don't give a fuck about that bitch. She has no fucking space in our movement.
Kim?
So first things first, the alleged rape that happened in
Not alleged, he was
1995,
convicted.
He pled guilty. A lot of
That's
people
convicted.
who are innocent plead guilty. I don't know the
Was
details.
it because he was black that he
I'm not
pled
going to sit
guilty?
here and
It could, I
defend a
mean, it was
fucking rapist.
1995, so who
I
fucking
don't
knows?
care.
But
Could have been 1965.
so the idea you called him a pedophile. So the idea that this rape from when he was also 16 made him a pedophile doesn't really make any sense to me. But further than that, the idea too that this is all for a presidential charge. She started speaking out about Christians in Nigeria in 2021. So Reno, who was the president in 2021?
I don't care.
Okay, but if she's after a pardon, wouldn't the sitting president, when she started speaking out about this matter, because if she's trying to suck up for a
No.
pardon, wouldn't she be sucking up to the fucking president of the United States, which at the time would not be
No.
pardoning her pedophile ex or her pedophile husband?
It's baby
No.
steps.
What do you mean it's baby steps? Nobody had any belief or any sort of faith that Donald Trump would win the election in 2024. So
Look,
the
here's
idea that
No.
like Nicki Minaj,
you,
some fucking nigger retard, is like, oh, I can see it in the tea leaves, and if I start talking
did I
about
am
Christians
I
in
frozen?
Nigeria right now,
Yes.
maybe down the line, Donald Trump, who probably won't even be president again, will pardon my husband. It's just fucking nonsense. It's just it's internet drama nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to say there's no evidence to support it. Just like there was no evidence to support your claims of pedophilia. It wasn't. If he
What
raped
was
this
the girl? What was the girl's age?
16, they were both 16.
Okay. All right.
They were both 16 years old. That's not pedophilia, Reno.
Well,
Okay.
it's not.
So I'm just saying, like, yeah, rape is horrible, and if he's guilty of that, he should be in prison. And he pled guilty
He
to it.
did. It's 4 years in prison. And then he failed to register as a sex offender when he moved.
Yes, I'm very well aware of that. And there was also a civil suit that was going on because
You're not going to move the
girl
goalposts, and you're not going
herself
to.
claimed that
That's
Nicki
bullshit.
Minaj and the guy were trying to intimidate her into recanting her testimony. I looked this up, Reno. Like, it's not like,
Good job. Great research.
yeah, we're supposed to. We're having a debate.
Yeah, I'm researched. My research is that he's a convicted sex offender and he failed to register when he moved. And this is who they brought up on stage at TPUSA.
No, they brought
and
the
said
fucking wife up to talk about something that was completely unrelated.
she is married to him.
You of all people understand how
Married to him.
how the court system is weaponized, right? We don't have to pretend that that's a fake thing in order for you to win your
No,
argument.
I'm not going to sacrifice my morals to shield for a pedophile rapist.
I'm not asking you that. That's
who-
not. Can you answer the question I asked instead of making up a question that you want to give yourself the answer to?
No, I lost your question.
Okay.
What was your question?
Can we agree or not that the judicial system has for a long time, for decades even, been used to weaponize against people and is not, in fact, the standard of moral and true justice in America.
To put him in the same category as the people, the judicial
I'm
system.
asking you if the justice system is
So you won't let
corrupt
me
in
answer,
this country
so-
and it's used to weaponize against people,
So
yes
then
or no?
but Kim, by that
You
metric,
don't want to
then
know the answer. You want your gotcha moment, and you don't want the answer because I'm trying to
No,
give
I
you an
want
answer.
a yes or no. All I want
Exactly.
is a
See,
yes or
just
no.
listen. Yelling over me doesn't make you right.
Okay, but the fact that you won't even answer a yes or no question is
I can't
weird.
answer a fucking question, Kim, because you keep talking over me.
I just need a yes or no. Is the judicial system
the judicial system has
Dude.
absolutely been weaponized against people, but at the same time, there's certain things that you just don't. I would rather be convicted by a jury of my peers in a situation like that. And if I was truly fucking innocent, I would rather, just like Enrique did, just like Joe Biggs did, just like Ethan did, said, go fuck yourself. I am going to fight this 100% because I know I'm fucking innocent.
a retarded, bigger 16-year-old with a public defender is going to know to do that? For real. I mean, like,
There's
let's
nothing
just
on
be
this planet that
let's
would
just
get
be
me to.
honest. Is this, do you give the same mental
But you're now
credibility
you're
to
making it.
this
You're now, but it sounds like
16-year-old
you're just making
with a public
excuses for it.
defender?
If the dude did it, he fucking pled guilty to it. He did 4 years in fucking prison.
A lot of innocent people plead guilty. I haven't looked into those details.
An aggravated rape like that is not fucking statutory rape. There is a difference. There is a difference. If a 16-year-old was having sex with a 15-year-old and he got popped for fucking statutory rape like that, I wouldn't fucking say anything about it because you know what? That shit has absolutely been weaponized. But aggravated rape is something vastly fucking different.
Women lie about rape all the time.
Yes, they do.
And women
lie
were
about
easily able to get away with it in a time like
Kim.
1995.
I don't think.
So I'm just saying that it's not without question.
It was like 20 years before the Me Too movement.
It took 20 years later, it only came up again because he didn't register when they moved. Another reason why these are just stupid fucking people.
All right, so we do have some questions from the audience, and one of those is my good friend Saranda. Saranda, how are you, my dear? We can't hear you, my dear. Why can't we hear you? Crazy, can you say something? Crazy, but Saranda, we can't hear you for some reason. Saranda, I don't know if you need to just reset the space and come back in, and then I'll bring you back up. Okay, so we definitely know it's not me on the audio part. For some reason, it's me on the video part. You know, one of these days, I swear to God, things are going to run fucking properly. I don't know if this thing's... dude, I don't know what the hell is wrong with my camera. Like, I'm fucking tired. I'm so tired of this. Every time I turn around, there's always something. Frank, what is up, my friend? Good to see you.
Hi, Rob. I came in late. Could you give me just a quick recap?
The recap is this, is that I and Reno both feel that Nicki Minaj and Ben Shapiro should not have been platformed on the TPUSA stage. That's okay. The TLDR of it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I agree. Both on both. Yeah, they have no no, they don't belong on that stage. I agree.
But that's literally the point of our conversation, was not whether or not Ben Shapiro, for like leaving Ben Shapiro out of it. The point is why Nicki Minaj was platformed on the stage.
Kim, you obviously missed the first part, the first part of my opening monologue. First of all, I said platforming, and I talked about more than just Nicki Minaj. I'm talking about anybody on a stage like that, a Christian, ultra-Christian conservative event, and an ultra-Christian conservative group like TPUSA should never be platforming people that espouse things that are diametrically opposed to Christianity. Ben Shapiro is one of them, and Nicki Minaj is another. That's what I said.
I don't so much as disagree with having Ben Shapiro on the the fucking TPUSA stage. I don't so much disagree with that because him and Charlie were friends. But I don't need Ben Shapiro to tell me how to be a better Christian.
He's the last person that should be preaching about who's a good Christian and who's not a good Christian. Him and I are in the same boat.
I agree on that.
We're both in the same boat.
I don't need Vivek Ramaswamy, anchor baby, to tell me how to be a better American.
Correct. I agree with that too.
So my point to this is, Kim, again, and I'm going to try to drive it home. It's not just Nicki Minaj. I am just talking about overall. If you espouse to be an ultra conservative Christian group like TPUSA, okay, who's trying to bring the word of God to people across this country, young kids on campuses, the last people that should be platformed. I don't look at Ben Shapiro as the face of conservatism. I never have. Okay, I sure as shit have never looked at him as somebody who espouses Christian conservative values, because he's not. He's said the exact opposite of that. Same thing with Nicki Minaj and anybody else who has done the things that Nicki Minaj has. It couldn't just because it's Nicki Minaj. It's not just her. It's anybody of that ilk. For me, should never be platformed to millions and millions and millions of people across the fucking world.
I'm not even arguing for deplatforming them. I don't care if they have a platform. I think everybody should have a platform, no matter how retarded you are. But Nicki Minaj sitting on center stage, being interviewed by Erica Kirk and putting her in a position when she's married to a pedophile, pandering for a pardon for her and her brother.
Not a pedophile.
Well, whatever. Married to a rapist. You can't fucking. He's convicted. So.
All right.
So anyways, listen. No, I will get. Goddamn, I've been sitting here the whole fucking time.
Go ahead, Reno. Go ahead. Go ahead. We got people with hands up in the space, but you go right ahead, bro.
I don't think bringing them on stage and platforming not platforming them, but making them a center focus on a Christian conservative conference when this is the life that they lead and they haven't made atonement for that. She never made atonement for donating to the bail fund of George Floyd rioters in 2020, and she's still married to a rapist. So I don't think that and having her, because there are young impressionable kids that are at that conference and they're going to see her as somebody to look up to. And as Charlie Kirk said, I don't think Nicki Minaj is a role model for 18-year-old girls.
And she's not. And she's not a role model for anybody.
And as much as you think I'm wrong about that, Kim, that's exactly what happened when you put somebody center stage on a conference.
How the fuck was she center stage?
Because they were on the center of the stage with her and Erica Kirk sitting center stage. That's how she's center stage.
You just keep regurgitating these same chronically online talking points and
that's what I believe.
False ones. Because you want
what I believe, and I will not bend.
Okay, we also acknowledge TPUSA has platformed a lot of people who have no business in any sort of conservative Christian ideology, who don't profess any sort of conservative Christian ideology. They've brought on people like this for years. This isn't something new or something that has never happened before. And the idea that, like I said, she's speaking on behalf of all Republicans is just asinine.
Oh shit! It's the noble faggot.
Hey, it's a takeover.
You know, my camera died on me. I have no idea why it's not fucking working, but it wouldn't be a show, dude. It wouldn't be a fucking show if I wasn't having technical fucking issues. So
brought to you by Warboy Studios. Oh, we got
I'm not much.
What up, Ethan?
I'm not much of a beast as I am a principles and moral person.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, okay, you just earned your 7K. Good job.
Yeah, you just got your Jew money. All right, so everybody, welcome Enrique Terrio and Ethan Nordine.
Ethan, it's good to
Thank
see
you
you,
guys
man.
for showing up
Yeah.
and hanging out. Oh shit! Look, Barry said that Ethan Barry said that you weren't allowed to walk in the door without the dog. Did you bring the dog with you?
What do you have to say, Mr. Tario and Mr. Nordine?
Oh, don't say that, dude.
No.
Somebody's gonna go
You're
outside.
gonna get the fucking cops called
Smash
right
his
now.
fucking
For real,
windows.
like,
We're talking
I keep
about.
one headline about Proud Boy dog abuse. I'm gonna fucking quit.
Oh God, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen now. Jesus Christ.
Stay on target, guys.
Yeah, that's like kind of like fucking nothing compared to everything else. So Enrique, we are continuing the beef from our studio chat about Nicki Minaj, and I started out the show saying that I don't believe, because I have been a conservative my entire life. I have voted conservative. I know what conservative values are. I know what conservative principles are. I know what conservative morals are. And I don't believe that people like Nicki Minaj and Ben Shapiro should be platformed on a stage run by a company, a group that espouses to be ultra Christian conservatives. I know you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on, Enrique. Everybody can't hear you.
Enrique, you're muted.
They're saying they can't hear
Oh,
you.
that's
It
retarded.
says you have no audio source. Yeah.
Wow, am I going to have to start this off again? I'm pretty sure they can hear me now because
the space can hear you.
no,
but
well, the space can hear me, but for some reason,
show.
if you look at the green room, it's 3. So let me reiterate what I said in short form.
You're muted though.
I'm not muted anymore.
It says no audio source.
No, the second camera says no audio source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is that there's
can
two
you guys hear him
notebook
now?
cameras.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, all right, all
One's
right.
in the chat. One's in the chat.
Let me
One's in the
remove
chat.
the second camera.
Okay.
All right, so I guess let me reiterate, and then I'll let Ethan discuss this. I don't know if Ethan's been keeping up with this, and I'll simplify it so I won't have to go through. So I think with Ben Shapiro, I think he does belong on the screen on the stage, not because of anything. I think he belongs on the stage because the legacy of Charlie Kirk, would allow him to go on stage just like he allowed him to go on Tucker. We've heard from both sides. Oh, Charlie shouldn't. I mean, Tucker shouldn't be there. Oh, Ben Shapiro shouldn't be there. I think they should both be there. I am definitely Team Tucker on this, but I think the big issue comes in Nicki Minaj, right? And I think there's I take a very nuanced approach with Nicki Minaj. I'm happy that she's bringing in new people. She has a huge following. People that aren't political are listening to her now promote like these Christian values, because I did see them. Whether she believes them or not, I'm not here to discuss that. I think that it is a good promotion, and I think it brings people in. Do I think, like it's always happened in conservative circles, we bring in this celebrity, and then they don't immigrate. They don't integrate into the conservatism very well, and then you have all these things like she gave money to BLM and trans rights, all that shit.
Yeah,
I still think
rapist.
I heard that too. I haven't looked into that, but a whole bunch of those
Reno
things.
did.
So I think both. I think both sides. We shouldn't go ahead and like be like, oh my God, Barb's is here. Make Barb's great again, or whatever the fuck. Make America Barb's again, or whatever the fuck that hat is. I think that rhetoric should be toned down, but I also think that people that are like, fuck Nicki Minaj also should tone it down too, because there's a good and a bad in everything, and I'm just identifying both. If I had to be binary, I'm happy that she's there. Right, Ethan?
I would take Tim Dillon's stance on this. I don't know if you guys listen to him, but I feel like our conservative movement has become a bad reality TV show. And a lot of people feel weird and kind of got that sense of like this ick towards a lot of people. And there's a couple people that stand out, but nobody's without fault to some degree. And I think as conservatives, we have a problem getting past people's pasts. Tucker Carlson is, obviously he's riddled with all sorts of questions. His dad working for the CIA, and he kind of denied it. And then Nick Fuentes exposed that. And so there's a lot of weird, uneasy feelings, I think, for the entire conservative movement, what's going on with the administration, all the way up from the executive branch down to, our independent journalists. We're not really sure what's going on 100%. We get a grasp of the value of certain things, certain events, certain people. But I think generally across the board, with maybe a few exceptions, we all kind of feel like we're in this surreal situation where we're not really quite sure who to trust. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of Ben Shapiro at the moment. A lot of things he's been saying, I think he can go screw himself.
I've ever been a fan.
I think he can go screw himself. I think
I've never been a fan.
I used to kind of, his talking points back in the day, 2016-ish, to 20, I guess I kind of vaguely tuned in, and I liked his talking points during that time period. However, now, a lot of the things he's been saying, no. And you have to remember, this guy was one of the biggest promoted social media influencers out there. He was promoted heavily, despite people like us being censored and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, if you can imagine where people like us would be if we had that kind of promotion. If
we don't have all the Jew money.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ethan, this is my show, dude. You can say whatever the fuck you want, bro. I don't give a
I got to tread lightly. I don't really know. Sometimes I just jump on these things with Enrique. He doesn't really tell me the layout. So
if it's on our network, that's it. It goes.
Yeah,
I mean, we had Kim.
we're on Cowboy Logic or something. I got to be a little careful about what I say. But
Kim's already
Kim just had a book
4.
club thing that I got like 3,000 messages for. It's like, cancel the live feed. Fuck you.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking about this conservative movement, and me and Enrique were talking about this January 6th coming up. We have the statute of limitations coming for January 6th. And a lot of people would say, well, that's a good thing because we don't have to worry about them charging us or doing anything coming after more people. But I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about them not being able to go after the people who are responsible for, the whole coordinating and putting us behind bars. And so I'm looking at the administration and a lot of these people. They talk about justice. They talk about all these problems that we're facing. And it's just like, well, if we let this run out and we don't prosecute anybody, we don't indict anybody, screw the investigations. I'm tired of hearing investigations on things. Indictments. And it begs the question, do we continue to call ourselves MAGA supporters, if after this point nothing is done, I mean, it's kind of like, after everything we've been through supporting the MAGA movement and what it's become, like I was talking about, this
Straight
reality TV show that's just like talking points and weird, like high produced, you got all these fireworks and everything every time somebody's coming out on stage, and it's just getting kind of weird. And so I'm just like, I don't know, man. I kind of want to step away from that a little bit, and that's a big statement to make, I think, for a lot of us, to say like, I've lost faith in the quote unquote MAGA movement. I don't want to say conservative movement, because I think we have, as a people, where the movement, but the brand is lacking.
But I mean, just to push back on that, but wouldn't that be an issue with the Department of Justice? And I get the executive; it's under the executive. But do you think that?
Sure, but I think something needs to at least some sort of intention, right? I think that's what we need to see, some intention behind it, aside from just, we've got this committee investigating, and I think the people, aside from like not really knowing what the hell is going on, for most of these issues that we're facing, I think we need some substantial, tangible results of some kind on that degree. So, otherwise it all been for nothing. And as much effort as we put into this whole thing, I think it's due. So,
Well, guys, we do have a live studio audience because Ethan, if you don't know, obviously you don't, but I run an X space along with my show, and we have like live listeners that want to ask questions, and we got a bunch of hands up, and I want to get to those hands. The first one I saw was Warrior for the USA, then we have Nathan, and then we have Frank. So Warrior, go ahead.
Rob, wow. I haven't been on X since Veterans Day. Kind of had a little breakdown, but glory to God. The funny thing is let's recap here. You're talking about TPUSA. So when everyone was doing a deep dive from September 10th, it is all lining up to what your last guest speaker just said. We don't know what to believe anymore. It's a total shit show, right? So the crazy thing is Rob, you said earlier, most people had to look up Nicki Minaj. Well, I was one of them. I had no clue who she was. I didn't know who is this woman. But Ben Shapiro and it's like these actors are coming in. But let me bring up a point here. First of all, let's look at Erica Kirk. We can say what we want, and Kim, I know your passion. I was young at one time, and I disagree with you 100% on everything. So let me get that clear.
I like her.
I do, but Reno, I'm telling you, you are spot on in that last guest speaker. So let me recap. So let's take a look at why. Can I say the F word, Rob?
You absolutely can. This is my
Okay.
this is my space and my show.
Both.
Okay.
You could say both of those F words.
Okay, so I'm a veteran, so I'm going to just drop the F-bomb. Why the fuck did they have a tent set up?
That was weird.
Weird? Not just weird. So let's take a look at the aesthetics of all this.
Yeah.
Ben Shapiro, Nikki, whoever the fuck she is, And let's take a look. I'm sorry, Rob.
No,
You might have to help me.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, I'm serious.
Cold.
I have been off X for a while, and
You and me
come
both.
on, and I'm like, oh, dude, me and my girls have taken a deep dive on this shit with your buddy Jack, by the way, Black Scout. It's like, what? So why is Eric Kirk showing up? What people had said in this WEF or whatever the fuck it's called, because
WB.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. In this glitter and all this, and what the hell? And then she's all about this prosperity gospel. So it's all a delusion. There's nothing we can believe anymore. But you know what's amazing is that we still want to argue about it.
Well, I can speak on why you have the WWE entrances and everything like that. I can speak on that. That's what Charlie wanted. Charlie loved that shit. He loved people coming out like that. He
That was
loved
his
it.
But he
signature entrance.
also
Yeah.
set up a platform of engaging people, not discriminating, not promoting, but engaging on what his true beliefs were, right? So before he was shot by Tyler Robinson, not and hell no to the no, uh, was shot, he was investigating what TPS USA was doing. See, he was the voice of this movement. So, what happened? And now you see the delusion of this movement. Who's Erica Kirk? We don't know. I mean, we can dig deep, but at
Well,
the
I know
same
that her
time,
mother owns one of the largest geofencing
right?
firms in the world.
Her mother owns what?
One
What'd
of
you
the
say, Maria?
largest geofencing
Yep,
firms in the world.
that's correct. Come on, Reno, keep going with that one.
And her father's not,
Yep.
out of the
Yeah.
equation
Her
either.
father works for
It,
the Israeli government.
it looks like a total fog of manipulating the masses. But guess what? So I'm going to land it at this. You know who your masses are right now? The Generation Xers that have discerned and have stood firm. And most of us are veterans. But not just that, we have been in battle fatigue since 1966, because I'm one of the first of Generation X. Raise a little hell. We are not sleeping at the wheel. This is a fucked up scenario that everyone is falling into this scenario where all we got to do is just believe.
Take it.
I'm going
Well,
to shut up
you
because
know,
I'm getting a
another
little
thing
lost
is,
here.
like the old saying goes, be careful of when you wake the latchkey kids up.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
Be careful when
And
you
we
wake
are the
Gen X up,
latchkey,
because
aren't we?
we were the generation that if we're going to talk shit, it's going to be in your face where we can punch you. So yeah, when you wake Generation X up, and I believe that they're actually starting to wake up, and you start getting Generation X involved, there's just going to be a lot of shit. There's going to be a lot of shit to go down.
It's gonna get
And,
ugly.
and not just that, we grew up with Raise a Little Hell.
We didn't
So
raise a
we're
little hell.
ready
We
to
raised a
raise
lot
a
of hell.
little hell.
We
Come on,
raised a
Rob.
lot of hell. A
Come
lot
on,
of
Rob.
fucking hell. Yeah, goddamn right we did. We raised
And you have a lot of Gen Xers that aren't going to compromise their moral compass to please the
pander to this
masses.
new woke
Nobody's
fucking
asking you.
conservatism.
I think. Look,
But
here's.
let me ask you this
Go ahead.
question. Don't you think this is all a capitulation to
I
cause us to rise up with what their agenda is on all four fronts for a civil war? Because they want this. Everything that Trump is now standing for is not what I'm sorry I voted for. The billionaires, the AI, and all this bullshit. It's all a bunch of shit. How
We have
about
to take the good with the
that?
bad, right? So I mean, he's
Right?
done a lot of good. He's done a lot of bad. And that's with any president or any government official, you're not doing your diligence as a citizen if you don't see something and question it if you don't like it.
I so let me can I chime in here for a
And
Yeah,
second?
yeah,
thank
go
you
ahead.
for the money. Yeah. Okay.
So my I disagree with the Erica Kirk thing. I think I'll explain the Erica Kirk thing first. But so Charlie was a person that made really good money doing what he did, and he was very successful at it. And both of them are used to having a pretty good lifestyle. And I think that pretty good lifestyle, we need to be able to discern some things. And Charlie liked the pomp from the TPUSA shows, and I think it's always been that way. The fireworks, I've seen those things in 2018, and it's kind of like bringing these people in, and I think there's a lot of good in it, because you're bringing a lot of people in, and then those people are choosing a path, whether they choose the Tucker Carlson path or the Ben Shapiro path, right? I might say that the Ben Shapiro path is the wrong way to go. But I just don't think I don't see this as a bad thing. I see this as the representation of the right was perfectly on full display at Amfest this entire week and weekend, and we're not a monolith. You had a lot of arguments on both sides. You had a lot of mentions of certain people that weren't there. You had a lot of issues when it came to foreign policy. If this was the Democratic equivalent, which they don't have, right? And we got to be thankful for that. And one of the people that we got to be thankful for is putting this together is Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk, right? And in this moment, you have to be thankful to Erica Kirk for putting this together. And you might think that it's a little bit over the top, but when you go to big churches, it's kind of the same thing with big churches, right? Like I'm a person that likes like small Baptist churches, right? But some people like going to like the major mega churches and things like that. And you could say, well, I don't like what's his name? Osteen?
Joel
Osteen. Yeah. But the people that are there practicing and raising their hands, they're raising their hands to Jesus Christ at the end of the day, because after that pump, they go home and they establish a relationship with Christ. And this is kind of the same thing, but in a political sense. They're like, okay, well, that's cool. And we know personally, a lot of people here know personal people that just started in this, went over there and were able to network. And I think that's the beauty of the right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let me land it at this.
I have to go
there's
in literally
also-
a minute, so
there-
I just want to say one thing before I
There's
depart.
also
Warrior, hold on 1 second, my dear. Hold on one second.
I have to go make dinner for the kids in a second, so I just want to say a couple
Family
things.
first.
First things first. TPUSA has platformed people who are not Christian conservative over and over again. They've had Lady Maga. They've had all sorts of people like that. So the idea that like TPUSA has ever been this bastion of Christian morality for the entirety of their thing is just not true. There has been a lot of people who, especially people in more our wing of the right wing, would look at the people who have been there and been like, this person doesn't necessarily represent our values as right wing people. Charlie Kirk himself had to be browbeat into his views on white replacement and on immigration. And that happened because he kept getting a lot of pushback from people like us. And even still, there are people, who you might even say are farther right than us. I don't know. Or at least socially, who are not allowed on these platforms still because of this exact thing. The other point I want to make, TPUSA separates their political stuff from their faith. That's why there's TPUSA, the political side, and there's TPUSA faith groups. They're not necessarily one and the same, although there is a good bit of crossover. I do believe that the values espoused by Nicki Minaj are not meant for young women. I know Charlie Kirk believed that too, but he also appreciated and spoke up vocally about the fact that he appreciated her representation of Christians who were persecuted, albeit only in Nigeria, which again, Rob, I told you I openly had criticisms of myself.
You did?
But the idea that like, oh, this is the first time they've ever had someone like Nicki Minaj come to a TPUSA event and they're spitting on the name of Charlie Kirk is asinine. It's not true. And it completely bastardizes this entire debate because it makes false pretenses that are just like not only are they baseless, but it's an improper way to start a debate about whether or not people belong on the stage of a TPUSA event. I think that TPUSA events are not notorious for their having people with Christian values. I think they're notorious for what Charlie Kirk tried to do, which like Enrique echoed, is have these conversations with people who might not necessarily fully come to our side, but meet us in the middle in some places, or might just be willing to have the conversation. And I think that's what Nicki Minaj represents. Not any of this other crap. I think, if she's married to a rapist, that's, a whole other mess. None of that came up. Her music wasn't promoted. her ideologies beyond being anti-trans and pro-Christian protection were the only two things brought up, and her support and kind of fandom for JD Vance and Donald Trump. So again, we can argue about like her personally all day. We can argue about the validity of TPUSA and the people that they decide to platform. But the point that I've made coming into this, and the one that I want to leave with, is that Nicki Minaj is not a representative of the right wing. What she is a representative of is the turning of the tides in Hollywood, where you weren't allowed to say these things before. You weren't allowed to be in a picture near a person from TPUSA if you're in Hollywood, or your career is over, your life is over, everything's done. This marks the beginning of the new tide. When you're turning the tides of a ship, when you're turning the direction of a ship, a big ship like America, it doesn't happen immediately. It takes little steps. And hopefully, I pray for Nicki Minaj that she would have a full coming to Jesus and that she would put away her degenerate ways. But I appreciate that she's willing to put her reputation on the line, because if we're being intellectually honest here, Nicki Minaj does not have a platform that respects anything of the right wing. Not Charlie Kirk, not TPUSA. I bet you the majority of her audience were the people that were celebrating when he died. So she's not doing anything beneficial for herself. She'll pick up like a couple hundred followers, big whoop.
And how much will she lose?
Lost a huge portion of her base who now thinks she's transphobic and all this other bullshit. So she took a big risk to do this. It's undeniable. Nobody who's even a little bit serious is trying to say women should aspire to be Nicki Minaj. Nobody is saying that. This is something different. And if we're going to be honest and make the argument on other things, we can do that. But fundamentally, TPUSA was not wrong for having a conversation, because that's what Charlie Kirk did with this whole legacy. And with that,
I agree.
I'm out.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
You
Kim.
made a great point.
Okay,
Good
There are
finish.
people. There are people.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
All right, Kim.
All right.
There are people
Got-
that are
Reno,
big.
hold on. Reno, hold on 1 second. I'm not going in the space. I'm going to try to reset this, see if I can get my camera working. Just give me 1 second. Space, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
So I'm going to
Wait,
land it
well-
here. How can
Oh, well, Reno, I guess you could keep going since he's.
Okay,
You could say something.
Well, what I can
Oh
say.
wait, what
is
he's trying
that-
to do. I'm sorry. What he's trying
Yeah,
to do is get you
Reset
on
it.
this. Okay, there it goes.
Yeah. What I can say is that Russell Brand would have been a better centerpiece for that big surprise than Nicki Minaj. I
I
understand.
can't disagree with that.
I can't say that I support their decision on having those people. I don't disagree with. I don't agree with deplatforming those people. I think everybody should have a voice, no matter how stupid your voice is. You should have a voice. But I don't agree with having her center stage with Erica Kirk. And yes, there are large voices in this movement, the rights movement, that are propping her up. That's absolutely happening. I've watched it all day. Me and Grok have been also letting people know exactly what she is.
Well, wait. Let me push back. Can I push back on just that one point?
Yeah,
right there?
we also got quite a few questions, Enrique, too. So when you're
I'm gonna
when you're
be
done,
really
go to
quick.
the space.
So you said that Russell Brand, would be a good arbiter for the message, but Russell Brand, if you go back, he was a raging fucking liberal SJW. So
Absolutely.
at one point he transitioned. Do I think that Nicki Minaj will transition like that? I don't think so.
No.
Maybe she gets
Russell
enough
Brand-
hate where it solidifies those conservative values, and that's what happens with a lot of people. They fucking get pushback, and suddenly they're like, "Fuck you! This is where I'm at," and everything that the left says, they're against.
But Russell Brand absolutely fell headfirst into his faith, and left everything that was in Hollywood and in that degenerate lifestyle behind. Absolutely.
Well, we'll hope the same happens. I don't think so, but I hope the same happens.
All right. Hey, Space. All right. Nathan, what's going on, brother? It's been a minute.
Yeah, man, welcome back. Yeah, great points, both sides. I'm still with you, Rob. You brought up Hollywood, and we got to realize we're in a spiritual warfare for the soul of our nation, either worshiping Satan through deceptive ways or the actual true God. And with Hollywood, sorry, I apologize for the noise. And with Hollywood, they do put in these subliminal messages that are satanic. Lucifer was the king of music, basically. He was head of the orchestra. And so, as they're directing us, all the conservatives, hey, go listen to Nicki Minaj. What type of MK Ultra even possibly is the CIA probably have inserted in there? The TP USA is kind of taking the Ted Cruz stance, where it's like almost like our salvation is through supporting and sending money to Israel, where our leaders and our churches are kissing a wall, breaking the first commandment, which says to not put anything before God. That wall is a false idol that's made by man. It is not God, and this is where our leaders and our churches are flocking to.
Yep. Can't argue that.
I agree.
And
I
can
mean,
I
there's a-
land it there, just wrapping it up what I wanted to say? And Nathan, you just hit spot on. We got goats and we got sheeps. And the goats in the Bible are different from the sheeps. So we want to pay attention and discern. And you know what, Rob? As you say, I'm here, I believe in Jesus and all this, but there is a prophetic thing that is happening in the world today that we got to detach and know the truth. And I'll land it there and thank you so much. You guys are amazing. God bless. Merry Christmas. And Kim,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
you got
She's
me
listening.
hook, line, and sinker. You are amazing. Hang in there. We might disagree with you, but the way you wrapped it up, I'm going to say, hooah. Love you guys.
Love you too, sweetie. Thank you. Frank, my friend, what is going on? It's been a little while, my friend. How are you?
Yes, it has. I'm glad to see you back on Spaces, Rob. I've been doing good. I can't complain for an old guy. Warrior, I'm also a Sicilian Italian, second generation. I just had. Oh, she left. Shit. Anyway, the one lady that was talking that's not on here. Who was that?
That's Kim Coulter.
Okay, so
She's one of the hosts on our network, Frank.
Okay.
And I want you to understand that me and Kim arguing, at the end of the day, we love each other, and we're not. I don't hold anything against her. We just we see things different.
Yeah, I see that you're a reasonable guy, and I don't even know who you are. Now, who is that?
That's
speaking?
Reno. That's Reno speaking.
Reno. Okay. So that young lady, I already forgot her name.
Kim.
Kim. Okay. I'm 78, so I have some memory issues. So you gotta go
That's
along
fine.
with me for a while. I thought she was her last statements were right on. That it's good to have these what I'm going to call outsiders of Christianity. Such as, well, Ben Shapiro, I really have issues with because I watched a video one time, and I used to watch him like I did Charlie Kirk. Every now and then when they'd pop up, I'd listen to what they had to say. But I heard him say one time Jesus was nothing, and that really turned me off. So I never watched him again. But I do agree with her in a sense that, okay, Russell Brand, again, here's a guy who was at the bottom of what I would call anything. So, and he made his way back. Okay, so Nicki Minaj, I mean, I would have never wanted my daughters to follow in her footsteps. But the same thing, can that happen to her? Who knows? Anything can happen to anybody. In my younger days, I was an asshole. I can tell you that. But as you get older,
I still am.
Change.
No, I just become more of a fucking raging asshole the older I get, Frank.
You remind me of myself when I was in your age group. I had a hothead, man, and got into a lot of shit. But we change as we get older. We mellow out. So, I have to look at it open mindedly. We need people to move to the right. You could be far right, you could be in the middle or the right, but when the next election comes up, we have to continue where we're going, and what Trump has started, and especially getting rid of illegals and getting rid of this fucking Islam, Somalias, all that shit. I'd like to see our country as Trump. He and I are the same age. I'd like to see our country like it was when he and I were growing up
And
in
Frank,
the 50s and
Frank,
60s.
you're a Vietnam veteran, aren't you?
Yes, sir, I am.
Thank you for your service, my friend.
Thank you, Rob. And that's all I have to say, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, Frank, it was good to hear from you. Listen, man, I want to let me just say this. I want you guys to understand that I've said it before. I say it all the time on the show. Some people will be like, "Oh, Rob says this ad nauseum. We've had enough." I have been conservative my entire life. I have never voted for a liberal. I've never voted for a Democrat ever. Not when I was 18. Not when I was 40. Not in anywhere in between did I vote for a Democrat. I have been true blue conservative since I understood that the liberals wanted to take my music away from me, which if people don't remember, that was the PMRC, and that was Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife. And anybody that was like them, I wasn't ever voting for them. So I've been a conservative my whole life. There wasn't just a change somewhere, during Bush, and then, I was a Democrat, and then I was like, oh shit, Obama's like the worst person. And then, like a lot of conservatives today voted for Obama because they thought we were going to have this hope and change. And then they saw what the left was really like through Obama, and they were like, oh, well, shit. And then they come back, and you know how many people I've talked to just in everyday life that were like, yeah, I voted for Obama. And then I was like, oh, shit, I made a mistake. And then came over to, no, I've been this way. And what I have seen in the conservative movement, and I don't even say Republican, is that we have been losing for 40 plus years. And we're losing because of the messaging. We're losing because we allow all these people to come infiltrate us and fracture our fucking movement. And Enrique's laughing at something. I don't know. Am I telling jokes right now?
No, I'm laughing at the comments. Somebody's like, homie's sleeping in the lower right.
God damn it, I was trying to say something fucking prolific, but you're a fucking faggot. Oh, my God.
Sorry.
This fucking guy. But no, seriously, listen, I see so much fracture in our movement. I don't want to lose. Like, you guys hear me say, we're going to lose in 26. We are absolutely going to want, if we don't change course right now, we are going to get spanked in 26. I don't want to lose. Me pointing out the fact that we are so fucked when it comes to the midterm elections, right now, the way it stands, we're fucked. I want people to get fucking energized and get out there and fucking do something so we don't lose. We have been on the losing end of this for so fucking long. And I believe that it's time to go back to what old school conservatism is. Fuck this new school shit. Fuck this conservatism bullshit. We need to get fucking hardcore because we're losing the message, and because we lost the message, we're losing the fucking people. We are fractured. Everybody needs to get on the same page. This is what conservative values are, X, Y, and Z. Stick to that or fuck off. I'm done with this fucking bullshit, man. We've taken it on the chin. And the perfect example is this. We had Ronald Reagan sign into law one of the most restrictive gun laws we have ever seen in this country. FOPA was backdoor gun control. Because of FOPA, it's called the Firearms Protection Act, but because of FOPA, we lost our right to own fucking machine guns that are made past 1986. We lost that under Republicans who were capitulating with the fucking left. We have bent the knee for so fucking long, and the only people that feel the effects of shit like that, in the 94 crime bill, that was bipartisan. Look at how many fucking Republicans voted for Biden's 94 crime bill. Yep. I mean, are you kidding me?
Look at the massive support for the Patriot Act.
And massive support for the fucking Patriot Act. That was one of the worst pieces of legislation this country has ever seen. Period. Okay.
We
Now,
fell right into
now
the
we got the
Democrat
Safer
trap for that.
Communities Act, and we got people like Tony Gonzalez who are supposed to be Republican voting for more gun control. This is what I'm talking about when we're losing the message. People go, well, that's not what conservative values are. Why are you voting for that? Oh, because you got a hair across your ass because of what happened at Uvalde? No, go fuck yourself. That was a psycho fucking tranny that killed all those kids. Hello? That's the left. That's a leftist fucking problem. Maybe we deal with the people who are fucking psycho, who are on all these SSRIs, instead of going after the guns from, I don't know, fucking regular everyday Americans that are exercising their Second Amendment. This is why we're losing, because we have bent the fucking knee.
Rob's cooking.
What?
Rob's cooking.
We have bent the knee to the left for too fucking long. They are not our friends. They will never see eye to eye with us. They are absolutely 100% the enemy. And you know what? Listen, guys, you got two guys that went to fucking prison under a fucking psychotic leftist regime. And you had Republicans calling for their deaths.
And it made us
Republicans that Ethan should have gotten more than 18 years. Enrique should have been in jail for the rest of his fucking life. And these were supposed Republicans.
Hey, I'm not that old.
Well, your prime
that 22 years was too little for you. They wanted you locked up forever. They didn't want you to leave that prison.
Fucking electric. They wanted all of us in the electric.
Yeah, man, 22 years, a 22-year sentence for Enrique.
And I'm telling you guys right now. I'm telling you guys right now. All right. And for those that don't know, there's some people in the space that know. Some people watching that know. December 12th, when we were down there, okay, I almost got stabbed to death while watching what at that time one of my brothers get stabbed in his chest while trying to pull the guy off of him. Ethan was there for that. They want us dead. You think Charlie Kirk is fucking a new, revelation in this whole left-right fucking war that's going on right now? They want us dead. This fucking black kid walked into where all 2,500 Proud Boys were. There was probably fucking 5,000 fucking people there at that time. He walked in by himself because there was a contract put out on fucking Jeremy on fucking Twitter, and Twitter allowed it. This is the kind of fucking people on the left that we're dealing with. There's no making friends with these people. There is no breaking bread with these people. There is no coming to the fucking table and sharing a fucking meal with these people any fucking more. If you guys want to lose in 26, if that is your goal, this is what we keep doing. But you know what? If we were to take a fucking principled stance, and the people of America saw that conservatives, for once in my lifetime at least, and at least in my voting lifetime, took a fucking hard stance and said, no, we're not going to put up with this shit. It's either conservative values all the fucking way or get the fuck out of here. We might actually fucking win in 26. By pandering to the fucking left, saying, hey, look, we're not racist. We got a token black chick on the stage who talks about getting big black dick in her ass in her songs. I'm not shitting you. That's what fucking Anaconda was about. I read the fucking lyrics. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? It's just as bad as that Cardi B cunt fucking wet ass pussy. And I go, holy shit.
And
what?
I don't ever want to put my playlist.
But listen, I'm not a prude by any stretch of the imagination. And being an artist and being a musician, I don't want anybody to censor my music. So I would never say that she's not allowed to write that stuff. What I'm talking about is taking a hard principle stance and being a conservative so that we don't fucking lose. We cannot pander to the left anymore. Period.
Yeah, there's a lot to be unpacked about that but I totally agree. And from somebody who was in prison for 4 years on an 18-year sentence for basically just being in a place, wrong time, and everything before that. A lot of people don't realize, we were on the streets for years before that, like physically fighting real domestic terrorists in the streets when nobody else was, and that spirit of, and here's the thing, there's a lot of other men who would have been there with us, but maybe they didn't feel so confident about, what the Proud Boys were, what we were about. But we reflect a lot of what, I call this great awakening of men and women out there, but mostly men from what I've seen that have that spark, that have that, tenacity and that zero give a fuck mentality. And I think that we need to capitalize on that, and what we can do, I think, with a tangible solution, is move forward towards like, what are we going to spend our money on? What are we investing in? You know, with these social media platforms, whether it be banks, whatever, we start figuring out ways to take our money from, because that's our vote. Or the real vote in America is with your dollar. Whether whether you want to agree with that or not, I've kind of given up on the whole political system because, and this is just for me personally, and my experience.
You guys want to see? You want to see Ethan's experience? There you go. There's the punch heard around the fucking world right there. And
the widest haymaker ever performed.
Dude. Ding, and not only that, dude, but you had the whole
the wherewithal to not
hesitate golf swing punch.
Sorry, Ethan, I had to do it, bro. I had to do it, bro.
But you know what? I think a lot of people, the same feeling we're feeling now is kind of in that moment what that represented. A lot of people were just sick and tired of like this nothing burger of like voting problems out. Let's go put our hands on a problem. Let's go get some real solutions. And I think that's what we're kind of feeling right now. Aside from like the fact that we don't know what's true, all this misinformation, all this kind of bland, projectile vomit out there that people are sifting through. Our leaders have kind of created this weird scenario with this conservative movement. Is like they're like half reflecting these conservative values, half not. And I think that puts way too much power in what the potential of this conservative movement has by putting all this focus on, well, if we just vote the right person in, they're going to fix all our problems. And I don't think anybody on this network, it really believes that, but there's a lot of people, a lot of the boomers especially, who are just so invested in one singular person, and I think it takes away from the spirit of so many men that want to actually get out there and make a change. And
you mean the people that continually vote for somebody like Lindsey Graham?
Yeah, the talk, just feeding into the talking points, feeding into the political culture that's just become this grandstand, this stage. And like Enrique said, it has its uses. I believe that it has its uses, at least to pull people in who don't really know, and then they kind of get radicalized from there. It's like a kind of the beginning stage of getting on the right path. But I think the real results, the real solutions that we need have to go above and beyond something like Turning Point USA, any of these grandstand stage mega church style political movements. I think we need to get real. We need to get cutthroat and raw.
I have an idea that I actually talked about this to somebody today.
Enrique, you got to read that fucking comment, dude.
Wait, what is that? If your problems were fixed, you wouldn't have anything to complain about, and such you wouldn't be able to make money on this grift.
Dog, I'm like $800 in the hole on this.
I know, right, dude? I'm
swimming in money right now. Oh my god, I can't.
I don't
breathe.
think this shit's brought in a single dollar.
No, absolutely not, dude.
Yeah. I keep like fucking pumping shit in.
Go tell that to Ben Shapiro.
Right.
So look, I was thinking about this. Now you're talking about events. So you heard about the Hunger Games, right? The Trump announced.
God,
Hunger
here we
Games.
go with this.
Have you heard about that, Ethan?
No, I haven't.
All right, so Trump got,
but
the White House.
down for it. Let's fucking go.
Well, he did it. He did the Hunger Games. So he called the Hunger Games. It's called like the Patriot Games or something like that. And basically, a man and a woman from each state, right, are going to compete in this athletic event.
And Trump is organizing this?
And Trump's organizing this.
What the fuck?
So I was thinking, I think this is a great idea. I think either right after that event, we host it in the same city, and we do like a counter to it, but more Hunger Games ish. Yes, more violent.
Yeah,
like MMA bouts that medieval
Proud Boys Uncensored.
You know that medieval fighting that they do with like
run the gauntlet, Enrique. We'll make motherfuckers run the gauntlet.
Yeah, I think the War Boy Studios should put together a fucking counter event where a male and a female from each state come and compete in like what do we call it?
Thunderdome.
The
Thunderdome. The Thunderdome.
Fucking
Nice.
Thunderdome.
This motherfucker-
Bringing it to real life.
Yeah, let's manifest
bro.
our dreams.
Hey,
finally.
listen, it's a good idea.
It is.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, we can barely organize. We can barely organize a podcast.
The
People organize a meetup once a month. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm gonna piggyback off
there's
of what
two
Ethan
people
and,
from every state in a highly organized event with a little bit of violence. Yeah, we're gonna need insurance, dude. We're gonna need all sorts. I'm not even. Fucking
We just need like ironclad fucking releases. That's what.
I wish to the person in the comments. I fucking wish I was getting Mercer money or Mossad money. Mossad, if you're listening,
I need some money.
Send the check.
I need about $700. I need about $7,000.
Yeah, Daddy needs a new Sea-Doo.
Yeah, and the best offer any of us have ever gotten was on a new fucking platform where they said they're going to pay us in fucking crypto, and the crypto is worth 0.000.
You're gonna buy a grape, one grape at a time.
Like 1 billion of these cryptos worth $7. All right, sure, let's go. Let's do this.
So
$7 more dollars than we have right now.
I am going to piggyback off of what Rob and what Ethan said. Listen, unfortunately, it's more off of Rob what I'm going to piggyback off of. I'm not going to compromise my morality or my faith to capitulate with somebody that I don't agree with, and I think that's what we need to get back to. I'm not going to sacrifice my faith. To make somebody happy. I'm also not going to have somebody from a movement that I belong to, that I was here before you, tell me that I'm not part of it because I won't bend a knee to a man. There's only one person I will ever bend my knee to, and that is our Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior, and that's the only person. And any man that is worth being a man. That's the only person you should ever bend your knee to.
All right, so guys, I got a written question here in the space, and I want to get to that real quick. But no, in the words of Gavin McGinnis,
go ahead.
In the words of Gavin McGinnis, no, you have to be born a man.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You have to be born.
Let me. I'm gonna quickly push back on Reno really quick. Look.
You want to push in Reno?
Push in Reno, push his shit in. So like, evangelism and bringing people into the faith, like when you put it in Christian terms, right? You bring people in. Some people come in and snap a finger, and they're in. They're praying every night. They're speaking to God every night. Some of them go to church every Sunday. But some people, like, there's an in, right? There's a way to wedge them in. And it might be like a personal problem that they're having that they don't know how to solve. And then somebody just comes by and is like, hey, have you tried something as simple as like, hey, have you tried going to church? Right. And they're like, you know what? I'll try that, and they have no idea. They've never opened the Bible before, and they go to church and they find this awakening. They find that enlightenment. And I think through the imperfect message of Nicki Minaj, even if they like TPUSA gets clips, and I saw a whole bunch of those with the Nicki Minaj thing. Like maybe that brings somebody closer to Christ. You know? But also and it's not wrong. You're thinking it's not wrong. Like nobody. One part you said is 100% right. Like nobody's going to tell me how I should feel about my conservatism or my how close I am to Christ. I just think that there should be a door open.
Unfortunately, the Word of God is the Word of God, no matter whether you like it or not. And yes, sometimes when you go to church and you make that jump and go and have a spiritual revival, you're going to hear things that you don't like to hear. But that's the Word of God, and no man on earth can twist the Word of God to make somebody feel better about it. Jesus, unfortunately, like a lot of the churches like to teach people, Jesus wasn't a peaceful person, and he wasn't a nice person. You hear a lot of in these churches, you hear a lot about the love of God and the compassion of God, but you never hear about the vengeance of God. And I think that's where a lot of
wrath.
Christians, the wrath of God, they don't teach that. And I
God
think that's
killed
where
the
a lot of
entire earth
Christians,
because men were sleeping
Yeah.
with men and
yeah,
women
I
were
think a
sleeping
lot
with
of
women.
Christians have
Fucking wiped out the
lost
whole
that.
world.
A lot of Christians
Well,
have lost that, and a lot of
well,
Christian,
sorry, go ahead.
a lot of preachers and clergy have forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, I want to touch on that real quick because this is something I talk to the boys a lot about when, we're sitting around a campfire or whatever, is we always dive deep into these conversations that the inner turmoil we have of like what I call balancing the wrath of the Father and the grace of the Son. And that's the kind of the battle we face as men, is knowing when to use, the grace or the wrath. I think we're in a place now where we are learning how to properly, in a disciplined way, use that wrath. It's not about a personal vengeance or vendetta. Like, God told us to forgive our enemies, not his.
Right.
So he has his enemies. Our enemies of our, past relationships and people who have, betrayed us. That's something that we need to learn to let go, forgive, right? But we don't forgive pedophiles. Okay, we don't
No.
forgive people out there that are actively, abducting children and selling them to sex trafficking trade. One of the biggest growing, money makers in the world right now, and
More than drugs, yeah.
more than drugs. And I think when we get to this place, and I think you have different echelons of kind of leadership in this regard, where you have a lot of us who have kind of been more radicalized. We've been on the front line of these things, so we have more of the wrath of the Father that we're learning how to be disciplined with. That doesn't mean we can't have grace, and a lot of times, I've had to use that with our guys and stuff like that in leadership positions, is learn how to have grace with men who've maybe messed up a time or two, but learning how to wield that wrath, I think, is what a lot of us are coming into. We're coming into this version of ourselves through this great awakening of being able to effectively use that. And I agree with Reno on this. I'm all about just yelling Christ is King and not having any apologies at all about who's offended by that. And if you are offended, great. This is a Christian country. Period. End of discussion. I don't care if you the founding fathers technically. I don't give a fuck. This is a Christian country. If you have a problem with that, go somewhere else. There's plenty of other countries out there, Islamic countries. You got a really big Jewish country, well, small, but a very prominent
a lot
Jewish
of money.
country.
Yeah,
They're
that's
getting a lot of money.
That's what Enrique's texting right now. He's not texting Santa. He's texting BB.
And
BB.
I just got the call from Assad.
His Hanukkah wish list.
The request.
The reality is Christianity is the biggest, most persecuted religion on the world as it stands right now, as it stands right this minute. And that's not just in this country, it's in every Western country and other countries as well. Like, I think it was Nigeria.
Yeah. Well, that's what she was talking about.
Oh, is that what she was talking about? Okay, yeah. And nobody's, everybody's quiet about that. So it's like, it's kind of like doubling down once you realize that we're being attacked on all fronts. So fuck your feelings. This is our country. This is our religion. This is that our country is built on, that made these countries so great. And so if you have a problem with that, get the hell out. We should have leaders who represent that and not any other thing. And so unless we have that, I don't feel comfortable following, again, like what Reno was talking about. I don't follow any man that leads me away from Christ.
Absolutely.
So, you know what, Ethan, I'm glad you said that, because this question actually has to do with what you just said. So Sam Miller.
Wait, let me cut in a second.
Oh,
we got
Jesus
about
fucking
5.
Christ.
We got 5
Just
minutes.
one more.
Just
Just one more. Just one more.
Listen,
No.
Enrique,
We got 5 minutes before I have to go into my studio.
Yes, so I want you to answer. I want everybody on the panel to answer this, because my show's up at 7:00 and we got 15 minutes until I got to shut her down. Okay. So the question is this: Sam Miller is wondering how we are supposed to win the midterm when Trump endorses awful people. Do we think his endorsement actually means anything?
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Rin.
We got to get
Unfortunately,
out of here.
I'm about to leave.
You're about to leave. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that, this isn't a new phenomenon of him with bad picks. We saw it in the midterms. I don't think there's anything that we could do, whether like Trump endorses or anything, to change the outcome of what's going to come during the midterms. I think that we're going to lose, not really because as much because of the executive, but more the legislative. They haven't done a single fucking thing. You know, all these executive orders by Trump, which are great for the most part, aren't being codified, right? So as soon as the next Democrat comes in, it's a snap of the finger, and you change everything that Trump has done. The Trump Kennedy Center, one of the small executive orders that he's done is to change the name of the Kennedy Center to the Trump Kennedy Center. That'll go away, you know. Thankfully, the pardons can't go away.
Yeah.
But
maybe the Gulf of America might be.
The Gulf of America is screwed. You know. But there's a whole bunch.
The Gulf of bombed drug boats. That's what we should really call it.
Yeah. I kind of side with Enrique on this. I don't know if there's really anything that we can do. I think a lot of the steam has been lost because of a lot of the decisions and priorities Trump has kind of favored over what I think, if he would have done some other things, I think that spark would have created more of a flame for people to get out there. And I think people have just kind of been like, again, it feels like we're watching a reality TV show and everybody's just like, Like back in 2016 when nobody knew Trump was going to win and everybody felt like everything was rigged. I was fully ready to watch Hillary win. And that surprise when he did win, that was like, okay, maybe this isn't rigged. Maybe it isn't all just a stage. Now we're kind of falling back into that like, no, it's just, this is all just a stage.
Dude, I woke up that morning and I was like, what, are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America.
I knocked on 40,000 doors. I knocked on 40,000
It's because of Enrique Tarrio that he won.
All because Enrique Tarrio knocked on 40,000.
He doesn't get enough recognition for this.
You're welcome for Donald Trump.
Everybody says it. I say it. Enrique Tarrio is the reason why
the best state in the union.
No, yeah, it's I think it's just a weird, I think everybody's feeling weird, and I think that energy that we would need to win in any kind of election at this point is kind of stagnant just because of the results. I mean, the lack of, the results is really the biggest thing, I think. Because there's sprinkles, there's crumbs of good things that people, I like that. But
it's better than
meat
any
and
other
potatoes is lacking, man. We need some substance.
There's no doubt, and I don't know if anybody will disagree. I don't think anybody that's an OG 2016 Trumper will disagree that this first year is better than the first 4 years. You're gonna what? All right, so we are gone. Me and Ethan are gone. I got to go into a meeting right now.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you guys. We came in to crash your party.
Thank Ethan. Everybody, thank Ethan. Thank Enrique.
I'm not saying shit to Ethan that you're saying. I'm not telling him that I love you shit.
Tell him, oh my God, I love him so much. Oh,
so much. Yeah. All right. Get the fuck out of here.
Somebody said, Enrique, I can see that the residue from that last rail on the desktop. Some of this residue isn't from the last one. It's old. I don't clean this desk.
It's a leftover.
All right. Fuck off. Later, guys.
All right. Later. All right. So, Reno, you want to answer that question, and then we have to say our good night.
No, I mean, I can pretty much say I agree with what Enrique said. If we don't get our shit together, we're absolutely going to lose in midterms, and maybe we fucking deserve it. I don't know.
The way we're going right now, I can't fucking.
I mean, every time, there's that old saying that good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, and so on and so forth. And what stage are we at right now? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, maybe we didn't feel enough fucking pain the last 4 fucking years.
Nope. So. I don't think we felt enough pain yet. I don't think people have felt enough. I don't think people have ever felt enough pain.
Nope.
To do anything about it.
Nope.
I don't know, man. It's either we come together and we start solidifying this true conservative message, because the people that espouse those ideals are really getting tired of the bullshit that they're seeing.
And then it's not just that, dude. It's that if we're gonna come together, we're gonna come together under the same fucking terms. Bending the knee to anybody, capitulating with anybody. Hey, I'll work with these guys on this, and if they work with me on that, no. This is the fucking way it is. This is what conservative values are, and this is the way it's always been. And you're either gonna get on board with that or create another fucking party.
If there was an actual viable fucking third party that had a fucking snowball's chance in fucking hell, and they espouse true conservative values, that's the party that I would be voting for, without a doubt.
Not only that, but you've got people out there that are saying, well, this is what it means to be American, and this is what it means to be conservative, and like that piece of shit fucking Vivek Ramaswamy telling me what it is to be American. Motherfucker, you're an anchor baby.
You've been waiting all day to say that. You've been waiting all fucking day.
You're a fucking anchor baby, and you don't get to tell me what it is to be American.
All right. Well, guys, you heard that's right. You don't get to tell us what it is to be an American. I want to thank everybody for showing up and watching the show. The space, hold on one second. I'm going to get back to you guys. I'm not ending the space just yet. Because I want to throw this out there. I'm looking at a news report from, I think it's Fox, that Abrego Garcia was allowed to walk out of prison and remains free in the United States until after Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, also the fucking the Russians have pulled their
The Russians have pulled
families, their representatives out of Venezuela.
Yep. So it looks like something's going to go down in fucking Venezuela. We got this MS-13 gang member free to roam our country, and tell me he's going to actually show up in court. But you know what? I think he actually might, because he's probably his head's so filled with the fact that he skated that he's going to have a fucking giant balls about walking in the court and be like, well, you know what? All these judges let me go. Ain't nobody. This is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about fuck these lower court judges. This is not the rule of law. This is an illegal immigrant, and he's a violent gang member. Okay? He broke the law coming into this country. Period. Yep. He deserves to be deported. Period. These judges are doing this. They're making these decisions not based on actual factual fucking law. They're making it on fucking emotional, an emotional point of view of DEI. They're making it on an emotional point of view because these judges have TDS. And just because you have TDS does not mean that you have the legal authority or the right to go against the president of the United States, who was put in office to protect the people of this country, the people who were born here, the people who have been here for fucking generations. The true fucking Americans deserve safety from illegal scumbags coming into this fucking country. This is when the administration, you want to see people get fucking fired up about fucking Trump again? You send the fucking goddamn U.S. Marshals down there. You pick this motherfucker up. You put him in a fucking prison. And if the judge says let him go, you tell that judge to her face, go fuck yourself. Period. Yes, end of fucking story. Try to come, judge. You can send all the Maryland State Police you want try to come into this fucking prison. I want to see a war between the fucking U.S. Marshals, the federal government, and some fucking local yokels in fucking Maryland. Try to fucking sit here and justify pulling a fucking MS-13 illegal fucking immigrant out of a fucking prison when the president of the United States says this motherfucker needs to go. It's bad enough he was sent back to this fucking country. I am fucking tired of this. I want to see this man grow some fucking balls, tell these judges to go fucking eat a bag of goddamn dicks, and send this motherfucker packing with his goddamn bag shoved so far up his fucking ass he can unzip it through his fucking nostrils. And with that, you guys have a good night, and I will be doing my show on fucking Wednesday. I do not have wrestling on Wednesday, so I can go back to fucking doing my Wednesday show. I'd like to hang out with you guys on New Year's Eve. I will be alone for Christmas, so I might actually just do a space on Christmas. If anybody else is alone with me, you can come commiserate with my miserable ass. Actually, I won't be miserable. It'll be nice and fucking quiet. So I will see you guys on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, we're pointing at the camera.
Love God. Love God. Love one another.
Oh, look, it made me out of fucking.
And Merry fucking Christmas.
All right, guys, have a good night. Space, hold on one second. And anybody who's watching, if you don't know, we're doing an X Space right now at the Rob 1772. You can join us on the space and continue talking about this because I know I just fucking stirred up a hornet's nest. All right, guys, have a good night, and I will wish you all a Merry Christmas on Christmas Eve.